Well, just to take you through what happened today. Well, the Supreme Court ready now to form a special investigation team which will probe 186 cases from 1984. A former High Court judge will head that three-member probe panel, which will also have a retired and a serving police officer. The Supreme Court appointed body had said 186 cases were closed without a probe. Remember, the Narendra Modi government set up the Justice Mathur Committee in 2014, which had then recommended a special probe panel. In 2015, the Modi government set up a special investigation team led by IPS officer Pramod Asthana. The petitioner in the case, who approached the Supreme Court, S. Gulad Singh Kehlon, moved the Supreme Court after the SIT formed in 2015 decided to close 199 of a total of 293 riot-related cases. In fact, the petitioner said the probe hadn't even been completed in several instances. He asked for a new SIT to ensure speedy justice to riot victims. Well, let's in fact go right across to my guests joining me on this program tonight. Charan Singh Sapra joins us from the Congress. Naresh Gujral, Rajya Sabha MP of the Akali Dal, is with us tonight. From the AAP, we're joined by Jarnail Singh and Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, author of Sikhs, The Untold Agony of 1984, joins me here in the Delhi studio. Nilanjan, let me begin with you. 34 years for anybody is a very, very long time. What exactly does a fresh investigation hope to achieve at this point?
We can only hope that it is going to achieve something.
Right.
The past does not give us much hope. The problem is that every investigation is somehow or the other enveloped in politics.
Yes.
The moment the SIT starts giving an order today, immediately question starts coming up that this is going to put the Congress in a spot in the run-up to 2019. This is not the first time that there is a parallel political script running to the script of an inquiry and justice for the 1984 riot victims. It's nothing very different.
Right.
Yet we should not turn very cynical. We should look at it possibly in the most positive way and hope that this enables us to raise more wider issues, not just focus only on these 186 cases, but a larger issue of a political settlement, of a political statement from the Indian state and from the political players. This is what is most important.
A sort of truth and reconciliation process.
Not really a truth and reconciliation process, but I consider that almost every political party to be complicit in the last 34 years. You know, you have to go back to 1984, that there was a total political silence during the time when there was violence, barring a couple of handful of, important leaders, which included, of course, Mr. I.K. Gujral, who went on to become the Prime Minister of India.
Yes.
But at that point, there was total silence from the mainstream political parties. So, which means that somehow or the other, they believed what the people said, that the Sikhs had it coming. That is something.
I want to bring the Congress in at this point. Charan Singh Sapra, is the Congress going to welcome this development, a new SIT to reinvestigate 186 cases?
Yeah, of course, Congress is definitely welcoming this move of the Supreme Court to appoint a fresh SIT to investigate. We also believe that a thorough investigation should be done, the culprits should be punished. But one thing I would like to add over here, if you see the history of last 34 years, there have been various judicial panels, various committees, various SITs. I feel 13 or 14 committees or panels or SITs have been appointed, but nothing substantial is coming out.
And why is that? Why is that, do you think, Mr. Sapra? Why is that?
See, the beauty of Indian Constitution is, it is once the charge sheets are filed, we are governed by, doctrines of division of powers. So court is independent. The court has to decide. So court is continuously trying to investigate, trying to bring in some facts out, but somehow I feel that this issue is being dragged and nothing is coming out of it, and further the political parties are trying to milk this issue during every election.
All right.
I'm also disturbed that certain things should come out of it, but political parties are just getting a chance to milk
Charan Singh
their
Sapra,
political gains
Charan
out
Singh
of it.
Sapra, are you saying then, let me understand from you, that a reinvestigation of these cases coming at this time is going to play out politically very negatively for the Congress party?
No. Negatively or positively, I'm not coming to that. See, I'm not discussing that. If you see the negativity and positivity, then I would like to state that there have been 3 successive Congress governments in Delhi in last 34 years. There have been 3 governments of Congress in Punjab. Today also there's a Congress government in Punjab. So the Sikhs are voting for Congress also. I don't want to go into that. But the whole point is that something substantive should come out. And finally, the culprits should be punished. That's the whole point. So the system which we are having should take it seriously, and it should not just get dragged for 34 years and just political parties getting advantages out of it.
Okay, Naresh Gujral, how do you respond to what the Congress is saying? It has, of course, been 34 years, and anyone would question at this point, with or without cynicism, that there have been more than 12 committees or commissions of inquiry. What have they achieved so far? And when Charan Singh Sapra says, you know, dragging this out often serves a political purpose, you know, how do you respond then to the cynicism of all those who've been waiting for over 3 decades for justice?
Well, first of all, let me make it very clear that the entire country knows that Congress leadership was involved in the massacre of the Sikhs. It was a genocide. It was not a riot. And since then, systematic attempts have been made to protect those who were behind this massacre and who were leading from the front. The problem has been every time something comes up, pressure is brought upon on the investigators, and then investigations are all botched up. I'm very happy that this time this new setup would be under the supervision of the Supreme Court. So hopefully our investigating agencies will do a better job. At the same time, I have to say with a great deal of regret that the past record of our investigations have been very, very poor.
Yes.
Whether it is Bofors, whether it is a 2G scam, any scam that you look at, our investigations have been very, very poor.
Nilanjan, if you want to come in at this point, I think that's
Can
very
I answer
important.
this, please?
I'm going to come back to you in a moment, Mr. Sapra, but it's another important point that's being raised. Where is the accountability for all the earlier commissions of inquiry or committees? I mean, it's all very well to say go back, reinvestigate. These are 34-year-old cases. What happens to all of what is to prevent this new sit from not committing the same mistakes that the previous one has done?
Mr. Gujral has actually pointed out something very fundamental, you know, that there was a complicit element of the state and the Congress party.
Yes.
Following that, what happened is that the first investigations, that the initial investigations were faulty. This is not 186 cases. There would possibly be about 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 odd cases, but in each of them investigations were faulty. The Mishra Commission, which was set up, you know, collected a large number of affidavits. I also gave an affidavit of the kind of violence that I saw at a particular place where a Sikh shop was targeted by a mob which kept on coming out from a local Congress municipal corporator's house, and I submitted that. But did the police investigate that? Were charges ever pressed? So the point is that whoever starts investigating, what does it begin with? Second is that in the course of writing my book, I found that there is a huge amount of covert or various forms of overt influences brought on to witnesses to ensure, you know, that they change their stand, including the concerned party, you know, including who we call as victims. Even they have been kind of induced into altering their positions. So there are fundamental problems, and there is a certain vested interest. It's not just a matter of 2 or 3 important Congress leaders, but there has been an entire system in place which includes,
all right, I want Mr. Sapra to respond to that before I bring the AAP into this. You know, doesn't this now serve as a fresh reminder of your party's role in the 1984 Sikh riots? And, you know, what can you say at this point to address this larger question of complicity of silence?
See, I am not here to defend the culprits of 1984 riots. Let me be very clear. I am not defending them whether they are congressmen or whatever. But I would definitely like to put a point over here that there were several non-Congress governments in between from 89 to 91, then from probably 96 to 2004, and even today Narendra Modi government. If you total the number of years of non-Congress government, it comes to around 13 years. Now in 13 years, even Mr. Indra Kumar Gujral was the Prime Minister. Who stopped these non-Congress governments to take action against the Congress leaders who are involved? Nobody stopped them. So they should have taken the action, they should have hanged them. We are not preventing anybody to be hanged. So my thing is clear that time and again, these non-Congress political parties in India, they are trying to milk this issue, probably by another SIT or probably what is dragging this issue. They are just trying to play with the sentiments of the Sikh community for 34 years and just applying salt to our wounds. So these are certain things which everybody should understand, and it should come to a conclusion. It should end.
Okay, it should end. It certainly should end. I want to bring in Jarnail Singh and Mr. Gujral at this point. Jarnail Singh, you know, for all the people who waited now 34 years for justice, isn't there a sense of deja vu today, a cynicism that politicians reopen the 1984 wounds simply from time to time simply for political benefit? I mean, how do you really tell people otherwise?
See, on one hand, I welcome the decision of Supreme Court to reopen the cases. But unfortunately, Supreme Court has awakened after 33 years. And we have been discussing why justice has not been delivered, why justice has not been done. Because the Delhi police was directly involved in normal course of action. When there is a crime, when there is a murder, police investigate the matter and then charge sheet has prepared and they try to prove the case in the court of law. But when the police was responsible, when 79 police officers were indicted by a Kusum Datta Mittal committee that the criminal proceedings should be started against them, then who was going to prove the case in the court of law? Secondly, the first FIR against Sajjan Kumar was filed after 11 years. We have been waiting, and the first Rangnath Mishra Commission was appointed, and Rangnath Mishra was then he was rewarded with the NHRC chairmanship, and then he was awarded with Rajya Sabha seat. So we all know that how the justice has been denied to us. Now, one thing is clear, that Delhi police have failed, and they are not going to do justice. So transfer all the cases to CBI, to NIA, and they should be independent agency, and Supreme Court should monitor all the cases day by day. Secondly, they should form a special court, and the investigation should be time bound. They should complete the investigation within 6 months, and the trial should be completed in a year. We have been waiting for last 33 years.
Okay.
They cannot live forever.
Okay.
The witnesses have been they are no more. They have been forced to change their testimonies. So what I am saying, stop playing politics. And Congress party is saying that we are welcoming this. The Sajjan Kumar and Titler are still their honorable member. Titler was member of CWC. So how they can say? And Mr. I don't know, Mr. Sapra was saying that they have government in Punjab. Let me tell you, the BJP have formed government in Gujarat for last 23 years. Would you say they are not guilty?